Hey there team, and welcome to something I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. These Tiermaker videos were all the rage about 2 months ago, and I'm really quite late to the party, but I'm going to be heading away quite soon, and I wanted to pump out one of them before I went, at least one of them before I went, because I think it could be quite a fun little type of video to break up my usual content, and still have it be something pretty damn Reforged related. So this first video I'm going to be tearing through what I view as men-at-arms. Now, when I say men-at-arms, I mean your standard sword and board that are not anti-cavalry. Well, of course, they wouldn't be sword and board in that case, they'd be spear. So it's, there's going to be some weird ones here. As I say, this is meant to be a bit more fun, this isn't really too analysis heavy. An additional rule with that was no faction is allowed to have more than 2 units chosen here. And there is one that does totally break the rules, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Anything else to rattle through? I do not believe so. So I think I'll probably just get started then. We'll start with the Alcarondas Legion here. Oh yeah, firstly, mithril, gold, iron, stone, and wood. This is from, I stole this from Ruud, that's R-U-U-D, Devil. He's a big part of the Battle for Middle-earth scene. Some mods for that. I don't really follow it too much, but I saw that video and I was like, hey, I want to do this for Reforged. So we'll, but of course, pretty self-explanatory. Wood's the worst, mithril's the best. I'm going to be judging them largely on aesthetics and how I often feel when using them. So that's really, it's going to be so personal. So you're going to disagree with it, but I'll be posting the link to this Tiermaker in the description of this video. I'll be posting it in the Discord. So please, if you do disagree with it, make your own. Let me know what's what. I don't usually ask for people to comment on my videos. I just don't like how it feels. But please, you know, like make your tier and just save it and send it to me. I'd really appreciate that to see what other people are thinking here. So it's aesthetics, cost effectiveness is a big part of it. You know, killing power in general, but the main factor is what men-at-arms are meant for, and that is to hold the line. That is the primary thing here, and so that's one of the big focuses here. Alcarondas Legion here. Almost said Alcarondas Faithful. Definitely one of the more expensive units we have here. I think they're about 850, but I think they've got to be gold tier. I think that they would, I don't know, maybe even mithril tier. I'm going to be putting these guys into gold tier for now, but they will very likely jump up to mithril tier as it progresses. I just don't want my first pick to be right into mithril. The reason for that is their locked morale, very high damage, so they can really whack out a lot of killing power. And because they're locked morale, they are going to be staying until the very end. So even though they've got like a very small unit count, this is on huge unit scale. So 1, 2, 3, they're not going to be able to cover as much ground. But since every single man is going to fight until they're dead, that's why I think they deserve that. They can hold the line for a very long time, and they'll get a lot of kills while they're holding the line. So they're pretty damn good, even though I don't personally make much use out of them. I know that they're very good. Menheriath Men-at-Arms here. Now these are the guys I use a lot. Their morale is only 9, so that is very low for their cost. They don't have a massive unit size, and their stats are pretty bog standard the whole way through. Now, of course, they fit very well into my Cardlin army. That's why I take them. I have a heap of morale buffing units to keep them in line, but overall I think these guys have to be iron. As I say, they might get moved down to stone as we progress through this, but they never really cause me any problems because I always watch out for them, but I can see them just not really being worth it for everybody else. Ithilien Men-at-Arms. Now these guys I'm not too sure about really. They can receive an armor upgrade, which is a bonus for me. That's something that I do like. I like the ability to customize these units quite a bit. They've got a smaller unit size, not massively, but they do have a smaller unit size than the Menheriath Men-at-Arms. Better morale for that, though. but overall I'm not really too bothered by them. But they do their purpose. I don't really see any Western Kingdom of Men getting below iron, in all honesty. So I'm going to be putting them there for now, but once again, they might have to jump down to stone. One of the main reasons they're up there is just because of that armor, they can be given an armor upgrade. I like that. I like that customization ability. Then it comes to the Arthedain men-at-arms, and once again, a few more. They can get 2 levels of armor upgrades. It's pretty expensive to do that, though. You won't really see that unless they're on the defense in a siege and you really have the money to spare, or you really just want a very buffed out infantry line. But as I say, they do everything that you need off them, so I struggle to put them any less than iron. So I really feel if it's going to be less, unless iron starts to get too bogged up, I think that's where they're staying. The Eastron Clansmen, then. They're one of the very few militia tier units that have made it into this list here. But I'm a big fan of them, even though I don't personally use them very often, but that's more because I don't really use Rune. So they can receive those 2 levels of armor upgrade, which really bump them up to being some exceptional militia. Now, it's a very sneaky strategy, not really something it's definitely something I frown upon a lot, but you see them getting used against new players a lot, and because they're wearing this golden armor, new players think they're a lot more important than they are. So, but with that very beefy unit size, once again, it's the armor customization that is wanting me to put them into iron. I think they're a very, very decent unit for that. And I see them being a big part of Rune's army, both in fields, in sieges, attack and defense. The Noldor Guard here, or the Noldor Guard, probably one of the most high quality units on the field today. The only real choice, or one of the only real choices when you're wanting to have Lyndon really buffed out with some armor, so that is going to be bumping them up a lot. I never see a Lyndon army without them, and they're exceptional quality. Once again, they are very expensive though, and you're going to get a hell of a lot of killing power from them, and you're going to need to. They are not just going to be holding the line for you here, and I feel like I want to put them in gold just because, as I say, you never have a Lyndon army without them. So the Mahud Warriors, they're massive unit size there, with 228 or 228 I think, and overall though, no, very little armor. They've got that shield, and they're not really going to be, and they don't have armor piercing. They've got a decent amount of attack though, and that's something that I think is going to be helping them out. But in all honesty, I might be putting these guys into stone for the time being, until I feel this sort of flesh out a bit. It's just that lack of armor, that kind of evil man morale. I just think that that's going to cause them some problems. The Blades of Emenduir, now they've got a really tiny unit size. They're quite expensive, and they don't really wear much armor. They've got a decent shield on them, but still, like, if you are going to be pouring ammunition into them, they're going to go down, and they'll go down quite quickly as well, because, as I say, that small unit size. Being part of Mirkwood, of course, you're going to be dominating the skirmish game, so hopefully you'll be avoiding them taking that fire. But pound for pound, I just don't really, I don't care for them too much, and I think that they might be ending up in stone for now, because, as I say, they're 160. Oh, sorry, a lot more than that. They're about 650 coins, I think, per person. Now, now we get onto our first orc off the matchup here, at 203 orcs in the Moranon infantry unit. I really like these guys. I take them a lot. I only really take Mordor to sieges. I never really take them to field battles. But when I do take them to sieges, I take a heck of a lot of the Moranon infantry. The Moranon infantry are if you pick their battles, they can actually get some good killing done. What I find is people often defend their front lines with spearmen, low quality spearmen even, and the more non-infantry will chew through that. But overall though, I've got to say that that poor shield value is something that I think puts them down, and they've got a pretty high cost, 550. They're the same price as the Minheriath guys, and I just don't think they hold the line for as long, and they aren't going to really rack up as many kills too. Now, the Mountain Uruk host. Now, I actually, even though the Misty Mountains is one of my favourite factions, I very rarely use the Mountain Uruk host. Reason being, I find that their aesthetic doesn't fit in nicely with my army. That's a big part of it for me, I'm afraid. But you cannot deny their effectiveness. You cannot deny their cost. I think, as it stands right now, they're definitely a gold, because they can get a good bit of killing done. They've got a very beefy unit size there, and yeah, just all around solid, very solid, I think. Now, Angmar Marauders, I think that these boys, unfortunately, might be jumping into the wood category. They can receive an armor upgrade, which I do like a lot, and I use these guys. Actually, to be honest, no, I don't. I sometimes use them, but I very rarely see them getting used in Angmar lists when it comes to siege battles or in an open field. People love Angmar's halberds, they love their pikes, they love their barrel wides, and if you've got any other need, you've got the Snagga Stalkers. But overall, I think that as it stands, the Angmar Marauders for me are pretty wood choice. I take them to sieges when I'm on the attack, just for a little bit more meat to throw at the enemy. But that's it. Now, this is definitely going to be a contentious thing. I'm not putting them in Mithril. For me, though, I think that the dismounted Earls of Dale are definitely within iron. I love their massive armor value. Their cost is exceptional. They've got a small unit size, but they do what they need to do. Actually, I'm tempted to put them in gold, because they do hold the damn line very well. They will die very, very slowly. You're never going to get too many kills from them, though. I think to be honest, if for something to be in gold for me, I've got to be seeing it getting kills, and that's kind of something I don't really see a lot from the dismounted Earls of Dale. So for now, dismounted Earls of Dale are staying in iron. It's a safe and easy choice for me to put in iron, though, to be honest. So maybe I should think about that, but we'll come back to it. The Belliceth Shield Bearers. Now, I'm a massive fan of these guys. Once again, they're going in gold. Maybe I'm a bit biased, putting these both Umbar men at arms up there, but hear me out. Once again, armor upgrade. I like that. I love the way they look with the armor upgrade. And they use this little mace, and they're a good high damage armor piercing unit as well. So it is good to you've got to pick your targets with them, of course. You don't want them just sitting there braining a bunch of Mahud warriors or anything like that. That happened to me in a recent battle. I unfortunately had to throw them at a line of Harad forces, which was just a waste. But you get them going toe to toe with dwarves or any sort of Western Kingdom of Men, any of these Minheriath, Dol Amroth guys, you're always going to be going, like pound for pound, you're going to be trading very, very well. And also, it's they'll hold, even if they are being outmatched. That exceptional morale. They're not locked morale like the Alcarondas Legion, of course, but they're going to be holding very well, and they're going to be fighting until they're just about done. Of course, as a lot of these units can as well, they can use the shield wall ability. So that's an additional thing. I only ever use that when I'm on siege attacks, but it's something to keep in mind. Next guy, I was having an issue actually putting these guys in there, but Mordor only had one unit in the list, so I was like, stuff it, shove them on in, because I do see the Blackguard of Barad-dûr getting brought to field battles and getting used as a standard men-at-arms in these in Pelennor fields. They've got this massive unit size, so you can hold the line very well. That massive amount of mass, hear me, is just allowing them to stand their ground up against just about everything. Nothing's going to be pushing through them. And once again, for a siege, always a solid pick, even if you're not using them any stereotypic man-at-arms fashion. So I think for the sort of wow factor of these guys, they're in gold. But for me personally, I only ever take them in siege battles. But I only really play Mordor in siege battles, so that's something. Now the Black Swan Renegades here. Now I've just been talking up how much I love the Balakith shield bearers, but arguably the Black Swan Renegades are a very similar unit. I never get much return from them though. Maybe that's because I do, throw them into situations that they're not capable of dealing with. But for me, they're in stone, I'm afraid. I just now maybe it is unfair to call them a men-at-arms. They've got a very small unit size. They're a much more aggressive unit, rather than really holding the line or just taking up enemy attention for a long time. But that's one of the things that I'm focusing on here. So for me, they're in stone, I'm afraid. That's just the case. Blades of the Wood, Lothlorien. I often say it, Lothlorien is my least played faction, so I'm sorry about this. But Blades of the Wood, I'm probably once again having to put in stone. Tight is such a small amount of armor, really not a great shield as well. Now, Lothlorien they protect by just dominating the skirmish game, but if your Blades of the Wood are going to be taking fire, they're going to be dropping like flies. So it's, for that reason, yeah, they've got to be in stone. If you're going to be using them aggressively, which I really do approve of when people do use men-at-arms aggressively, then you are going to see some good returns from that, but something's got to take arrow fire for your army. Then the Dunedain Peacekeepers. Big fan of the Dunedain Peacekeepers. Pretty nice, like very high attack value. They use an axe and the shield, so I understand, sword and board, as I did state, but you take what you can get. And I think though, decent armor values on them. You're always going to get a lot of kills from the Dunedain Peacekeepers, and at the same time, they've got I say a half decent armor value. You can give them an armor upgrade if you want. They've got that Dunedain skill, but as long as you are aware of their limitations, I think they're damn good, and I'm going to put them in gold for now. And yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. Eastmark Axemen. I play Rohan quite a bit. When I do play Rohan, I will very rarely get the Eastmark Axemen. And reason being, just not a great armor value, an okay shield, yeah. And but overall, just that very small unit size, and that's just the problem with Rohan's infantry. That's Rohan's thing. They've got very beefy cavalry units and very small infantry units, but still, it's the best that you've really got for a men-at-arms. For a cheaper men-at-arms. We'll get to the much nicer one that I view much better later on. But for now, I think they've got to go in stone. Now, Isengard has got 3 units here today. Now, the reason that I included the third one is simply because the Dunland faction, a lot of people hold Dunland very close to their heart. So I thought, stuff it, I'll put in the Dunlanding veterans for anybody that's keen for that. Why not? I like the Dunlanding veterans quite a lot. I think that they get ignored, and they really do get underestimated a lot. But in all honesty, I don't think that they're... I just don't think they're great. I think that you, as Isengard, you do have better options, and I just don't think that their purpose is... yeah. I like to use them for the flavour. I love them as a unit. I'm very glad Isengard has access to them, and but overall, I'm not too bothered with them. Then the Elvillain infantry, the only Dorwinian unit on the field. Well, in the choices today, not on the field today. I'm a big fan. Small unit size though, and that endurance, that sort of elven trained endurance, is going to keep them fighting at their peak for longer, which is nice. That's definitely something to consider. But in a pitch battle, you don't often see that. Apart from when it's a 4v4, your boys, you're either going to be dead before you're going to be exhausted. You know, it's... So I don't really... I think it's only a siege where that really comes into play. And good armor value, but I just think they're 700 apiece, you know, and I just think other factions, other human factions do their job better. I'm still going to put them into iron, I think, just because, you know, they're pretty solid. Now, I'm really having to fight my bias here. I love the Gondor infantry. I love Gondor's ability to buff up their armor at a cheaper price, and you know, get them really all kitted out in their full plate. So this is a tough thing for me. When I first thought about doing this list, I was like, Mithril tier for sure. You know, it's got to be. Who else is it going to be? But I don't know. Every time I play with them, you know, they just... I pour so much money into them, giving them armor upgrades, melee upgrades, and they just never really give me any... They hold the line, though. They hold the line so well. And for that, I think they've got to be gold. Yeah, I don't know. Then a unit that I never really use, I'm afraid, because when I play Gondor, I play them pretty extreme. You know, very, very high tier. I never really touched the Militia. I can't really comment on it too much, but I wanted to put in another Gondor unit here. So, very beefy unit size, good cost, and once again, you can give it an armor upgrade, give them that nice black chainmail, and it's pretty solid. So I can see them going into iron. You know, it's tiny attack value though, but once again, you know, tiny attack value, definitely not AP. Once again, that beefy armor, well, nice solid armor for a Militia unit, and for their cost, and you know, 203 men in the unit, they'll hold back a swarm of orcs for quite some time. But going up against anything really nasty, I don't know, man. They're going to be in iron right now, but I would maybe, yeah, no, I think for their cost, they can definitely have a place in iron. Now, the Guardians of Khazad Dûm, I do not make an Angmar list without two of these guys. I love morale buffing units. As a guy who adores playing Cardlin, I need morale buffing units. So, Guardians of Khazad Dûm, I think, are a very solid choice. Not just for the sake of the morale buff, though. They're good men-at-arms to just hold your line together. And if you have them spread out, and as well as that, in a siege, as long as you have them up in the thick of it, they're providing that morale buff around them. They've got those massive sturdy shields, great armor. You can give them an armor upgrade. They're expensive. We're putting them in gold, but we're thinking. Harland and infantry now. Tiny armor values, as I say, that's just common from Linden. Good shield value, you know, just good skill, you know, good elven skill. They'll hold the line in melee as long as you're avoiding shots, but you're so aware of that as Linden. You know that is your problem, and you will be constructing your army and planning your strategies around that. You know, making sure that your men don't get shot. So it's a tough one for me. Because it's the same reason I put a lot of these other elves down here, or these elven militia, but the Heartland and infantry are most certainly not a militia unit. They're Mainline. So I think, and they're going to be racking up kills. I think it's their killing power that I'm putting up there. They're a much more high risk men-at-arms. You know, with the Menheriath men-at-arms, hey dude, they get shots unloading on them. You don't care. It's beefy ass armor. It's gonna stand. They're gonna stand. Heartland and infantry, you mistreat them too much, that's a big investment you've just lost. So yeah. Then the biggest unit number, yep, biggest unit number we've got in this whole list is the heavy goblin infantry. Now I love these guys. I love them to death. I love the aesthetic of the Moria goblins. I love the way they try to copy the spitting flames from the Balrog in their armor. I just think it's awesome. And you know, so that's is a tough thing for me to do, but they've got such a massive unit size and they're so cheap. They're the same price, I suppose, though, they're the same price as the Gondor and infantry. So, and I would probably trust the Gondor and infantry before I would trust them, in all honesty. I will always use the heavy goblin infantry, and I will always use a lot of the heavy goblin infantry. But I think that they are just that dodgy morale. Now, I know you've got those cave troll drummers, or like me, you've got the Goblin King bodyguard right behind them, you know, yelling for them to stay in the fight. But I think in a big chaotic field battle, they're running. They're running, and, you know, the enemy's killing half of them. As they'll come back, but they'll lose about half of their boys by the time they do come back. Now, it's another mainline infantry for the elves, in the form of the Gwaith-e, Hirioth. That's what they are. And armor upgrade. I think they look great without it. I think they look damn good with it too, to be honest. And it does help them, but that armor is still not much. But that's once again, that's Mirkwood's thing. But they've got a good sturdy shield, and they do at least have some armor. I can't be putting these guys in anything less than iron, I feel. But do I put them in gold? I don't know. I think because as well, Mirkwood lacks pikes, so you really do rely on the Hirioth to hold the line. And the spearman alternative. I'm really sorry about that. I should know. But no, I think I think I'll go for them being iron for now. Now, the one sort of rule-breaking unit, that's just because the hobbits really don't have an alternative to this. They've not got a sword and shield unit. I had a look around, surely they had one. No, they don't. So, apart from the bandits, I guess, but I wasn't going to be throwing the bandits in here, because once you start messing around with throwing weapons, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, the hobbits, unfortunately, this is going to really piss people off, but the hobbits are definitely gold for me. Hobbitry and arms, actually, we'll see. They're gold for now. They might be mithril. That armor piercing ability is exceptional for them. Their morale is trash. Their morale is absolute trash. I don't know. Like, I've seen them get rolled over, and I guess if you really rely on because in the time, I love to use them. I actually really enjoy them in a siege attack, because you can pick their battles. You can move them up and move them up carefully. But I think in an open field, when the enemy can abuse you, they can shoot you with fire arrows, they can scare you with nasty units, you can break. Now, that armor piercing and that attack of 3, they've got the same attack as the Gondor Militia infantry. So it's tough, but I think they're in iron just for that massive unit size. And the fact that they can actually start dishing out some kills against some factions, for sure. I've seen them trade incredibly efficiently in some fights, frustratingly so on occasion. Then in Imladris Guardians, got to give these guys an armor upgrade. I'm not a big fan of their generic look. I love them with the armor upgrade though. In all honesty, I think these boys are mithril. I'm gonna put those guys in mithril. I think that they are, especially with that armor upgrade, they can just be unbeatable. You know, you can throw whatever the hell you want at them. Armor piercing, they don't care. They're incredibly skilled elves. They'll defend it away. They'll parry off those hits. You try to shoot at them, they've got that damn good armor. Unless you've got a lot of crossbows or a lot of good high-quality javelins, snag of skirmishers ain't gonna cut it, mate. You've got to be getting something heavy and shooting them. So, no, that's where they are for me. And then we've got the Erebor Legionnaires, who are, once again, locked morale. Not a big unit size, but just, damn good overall. I think that they've got to be gold, myself. I know I'm kind of just putting elite units into gold. I kind of wanted to refrain from that, but overall, I think that's just the way I feel. You know, you always see them with Erebor, but and I always see them doing incredibly well. But no, Ironfoot Warriors there. I think that these guys, they do everything you need them to do. They're sturdy dwarves, definitely not as good as their Khazad-dûm brothers, but they'll very rarely let you down. So I think I've got to put those guys in gold as well. The Flag Rim, AP, which is something I definitely approve of. They're about 625 florins, and nicely armoured for an evil man. So, but you'd expect that from their cost. So overall, I do like these guys a lot. We're putting a lot of stuff into gold right now, though. Same amount of units as a Gondor and infantryman units. So that's tough. And those armor upgrades for the Gondor infantry, they'll bump them up to about the same cost. Even about the same cost. So I think unfortunately the Flagrim have to be gold. Now, the Lorinand warriors here, not Lorinand warriors, these are Lorinand axemen. Lorinand warriors are the two-handed axes. Once again, Lothlorian's not a faction I can really discuss too much. These guys do have a heavy amount of attack, but they've got a very tiny unit size at just over 100. You know, well, this is including the banner carrier, the captain, and the two banner carriers and the captain. So I think that it's I think they're in stone, I'm afraid. Like, we're also, we're of course judging their ability to hold the line, and it's just having that axe really makes it a lot more difficult for them to do that. Even with that elven skill, it's tricky. And then they do have quite good armor though, and they do have a nice shield, but all in all, it's just the small unit size I feel that lets them down. Now, Mercenary Guildsmen, these are the guys from Cardlin. This is their second unit. I know quite a few factions can have access to the Mercenary Guildsmen, but yeah, I love what we've done with them in this recent, I say recent, it's been out for quite a while now, but 0.97. I adore them with the mace. I think it's great. I really have considered using them. Their low morale fits into Cardlin quite nicely. They actually do have the same morale as the Minheriath men-at-arms, so it's not too much of an issue. If you're playing as Cardlin, you're aware of these morale strikes. If you're playing as Khazad-dûm, it's a big problem for you. So overall, though, I think that that bit of AP is pretty beneficial, and I think good armor, pretty bad defensive skill though. Man. I think they're in stone. It's just because of that defensive skill. They've got a lower quality shield than the Minheriath men-at-arms. If you're really picking your fights, like say if you are going up against a bunch of dwarves and you know you're going to need those maces, sure. But if not, I don't know. Now here we've got the warriors, not marauders. Nomad warriors. I really don't like these guys too much. They're of course canned. I try something that I do often try when I play as canned is like, okay, can I make a full army of nomadic units? So ignore the Norad guys, ignore the Brotherhood guys, the Variags, just the nomad keyword. And so these guys make up a bulk of your forces. And I'm probably gonna have to shove them into wood, I'm afraid. They just don't really, they don't really seem to be able to do what they need to do. Those big that big unit size, of course, they'll take a long while to get chewed through, but they're just gonna get chewed through, and they're not really gonna be getting many kills for that. But Canned definitely has something that I adore, which is the Nurad Footmen. Another one of the changes recently, Nurad Footmen used to be a very cheap unit. Well, not very cheap, but used to be quite a cheap unit. They no longer are. They're quite high quality, I would say, and but they do have the price tag along with that. So it's I really do like them. Their armor piercing, got a decent attack value too, and Canned, I feel really needs them. So we're probably going to pop them in gold for now. Now, a unit that I will totally accept my own bias here. The Rudar Swordsmen. I adore them. I love their morale. I think their morale is outstanding. For an evil man. Terrible armor though. Decent shield and terrible defensive skill. So for that, like, it hurts. I don't know, man. it hurts to put them in stone. I don't think, because they can outkill some of those units in stone. I know they can, but I think, and they've got a nice big unit size. Fight me on them. I don't care. They're in iron. That's where I want to put them. So that's the way they are. But yeah, I will totally accept my own bias there. I love the aesthetic of Rude Hour as well. That's something that I have not been pointing out, but that has played a role. Like the Emendweir units, I'm not too bothered about that. I love the Mirkwood aesthetic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Romena Abaram. Now, yeah, that's where I gotta put these boys. I used a heck of a lot of them. I play Numenor. Well, I play Numenor with a mixture of very high quality and then a lot of the Belegar. I tend to actually not really take many of the elites with Numenor, so it's just a lot, basically all the Romena and all the Belegar, and kind of just overwhelm the enemy with that. And the Romena Baram, I adore them. I think that kind of similar, because of course they're Numenorians. So they are the prime of what men are meant to be, and what men are meant to be are men at arms. That's what the Western Kingdoms of men are exceptional at, and nobody's better than that. Nobody's better than Numenor at that. So yeah, that's where I got to put them. The Serpent Guard, Serpent Guard stat-wise are pretty damn good. They're expensive for that though, and they don't have a very big unit size. You can give them an armor upgrade, which, as I say, I do like, and I absolutely adore the aesthetic of them. But I think I've got to put them in stone. I think, to be honest, it's probably mainly down to that unit size. But I just never really am able to hold the line with them for very long, and I often see Harad just totally ignoring them. It's Harad. A lot of the time, unless you're playing in a siege, you're probably not seeing them. Then the Swords of Rivendell. I like these boys. You can give them an armor upgrade, which is nice, but and they kind of need it. Especially, they need it if they're going to be getting shot at. If they do have the Elven skill, they're Militia, but they're Militia of Rivendell. So I do like them a lot, but all in all, nah, they're not really going to be cutting it. I feel bad. I put all of the Elven Militia down here. Damn. Oh well, that's where they're going for now anyway. 3rd Legion Infantry. Now here's a rule. I'm not going to be putting. I can't fill up these lines. So if I do put something else into gold, that's it. I'll need to move something else out of gold before I put something else in it. And 3rd Legion Infantry. I think that they would definitely deserve that position. Yeah, I would say so. And I'll do the Warriors of Khazad-dûm right now while I'm on that topic. I very rarely see that. I don't see the Warriors of Khazad-dûm very often. When people play Khazad-dûm, I see them really go hard or go home. So the 3rd Legion Infantry get brought all the time, whereas the Warriors of Khazad-dûm don't. And I don't really know why that is. I like the Warriors of Khazad-dûm. They've not actually got a very bad unit size, but it's just the fact that they always get, the 3rd Legion get brought before them. And also, in addition to that, the Khazad-dûm have the Sons of the Fallen, who aren't in this, of course, but they don't even suffer from Spear Malice. So you've got all of these elite choices, and I think people just get put off by it. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting them to iron tier, but that's more just, maybe they would be in gold, but I can't justify moving out anybody else right now. The Uruk-hai Infantry. Now, they're expensive. They really are quite expensive. Now, they're damn good at what they do. Very well armored, very disciplined Orc force, or Uruk force as they should be. But no, I think that all in all, they are, for me, not really something I take too much. I don't play Isengard that much though, but I don't know. No, I think they're damn solid. Of course, they can't receive an armor upgrade, which I think is good. They used to be able to do so, but no, I think it's decent enough that they got that removed from them. I can't justify them being any less than iron, in all honesty. The Uruk-hai Raiders, I don't really see these guys getting taken too often. Apart from when you really are wanting to just buff up your numbers as Isengard. So I think we'd probably go for, I think we'd probably have to go for stone for them. But once again, I couldn't see them being in wood. I just don't, I guess they kind of fall in the same line as the Angmar Marauders, but no, we'll be putting them into stone for now. And then lastly, the Westmark Infantry. Now, the Westmark Infantry is a unit I actually really like, but it's the last thing in here, so I don't know where to put it. I think I've got to shuffle some stuff around. I think now, with a bit more thinking, I think that as it stands, I think these boys are mithril. I think that whenever you see Orcs of the Misty Mountain getting taken, they're in there. Even though I don't take them personally, and I think that was why I didn't want them up there right at the start, I think that they do deserve to be up there. And now I would fill that slot with the Westmark Swordsman. Mainly just for, I know that they can definitely get beaten by a lot of other units here. I just think that you need to take them as Rohan. My advice to a lot of people when they play Rohan is to actually go cheaper on the cavalry. I'm not saying take less cavalry, but I'm saying take cheaper cavalry. And take more expensive infantry. Because you're going to want to micromanage your cavalry a lot more, so you're going to want infantry that you know is going to stand their ground. You want infantry that you know are going to be able to be ignored for a little bit. And the Westmark Swordsmen can do that. They're damn good at it. So I think that it's a solid choice. I think it's so silly when people cheap out on Rohan's infantry in order to buy the first Marshal's bodyguard and all that. You don't need that. Just, get some of the massed Lancer units and just try and do your best with them. Anyway, that'll just, I can't get onto that right now. So let me have a look through these and see if I want to move anybody around, because this is a very center heavy. These guys aren't going anywhere. I think they're solid. I think, to be honest, Alcarondas Legion, I think they maybe need to be going into Mithril. Yeah, I can't think of anything bad about them. Nah. So I think that they've got to go there. Noldor and Guard, I think they would be in there, but they're just expensive. Really expensive. Then Blackguard of Barad-dûr, no. I love their pushing, but that's not what we're testing here. We're testing their real sort of holding ability, rather, which I know they can do, but no. Then Guardians of Khazad-dûm. Sorry, Guardians of Khazad-dûm. I'm tempted by, but I don't think so. Yeah. I think I wouldn't really, no, because you look at what else is up there, and no. Flagrim, no. Anything in the iron category, as I would definitely, I would accept if somebody said to me, oh, no, Minheriath should be in stone, I would accept that, but to me, they're in iron. Ithilien, yeah, no, I can't justify them being in stone. They do their job. They do it, and as do the Arthedain Men-at-Arms. It's just it's the X factor of the clansmen that gets me. Just that ability to just really buff out their armor is exceptional, and turn them from this militia into a cheaper mainline unit. Earls of Dale, nah, I think they've got to be where they are. Again, there's an argument for the Gondorian militia being down. As for the hobbits, but I think the hobbits can just, if you get them into a good situation, they'll always do very well for you. Now the Isengard infantry there, I could see them getting moved up to gold. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave them there. I just think they're quite expensive, but as are they. Nah, Isengard, they've got to be gold. Uruk-hai Raiders, no, as I say, it's just that very, very little amount of armor that they wear. They can get a good bit of killing done, in all honesty, though. But anyway, so let's move on. But they're 550, hey. Militia, yes. No, I think that I'm happy with this. As I say, I expected to maybe have more in wood and more in mithril, but this is kind of what I'd expect from Men-at-Arms anyway. The roles of men-at-arms are, well, the role of men-at-arms is very simple, and it's quite easy to do that well. And everybody's got a different way of doing it, be it just massive amounts of numbers, or sturdy armor and a good shield. And locked morale. You know, there's lots of ways to do it, and I think that, I think that everybody can. That's why nobody's too crazy here. As I say, it's just these 2 units that I've had some bad experiences with that are down in wood, and just the real, like, all the time picks and the real prime guys up in Mithril. So, thank you very much for that. That was a bit weird. I really want to do, I don't know if I'll be able to do any more of these before I go away, but I want to do a lot more of them as time goes on. Just, what's the best pikes? Phalanx, I'd say. What's the best spears? So let me know, give me some ideas of what you guys think would be fun. And once again, please do this yourself. It'll take like 2 minutes. And just save and download. Show me what you got. And thank you very much, guys.